is the Better Life, Better Work show, and I'm your host, Allison Crow. I'm an intuitive life and business coach here to help you create better life and better work. I help super successful people, the recovering overachievers, put the soul back in their lives, and I help soulful people create success. On this show, topics range from the mystic to the logistic, and our content will support your being and your doing while on your path to create better life and better work. More is not better. Better is better. Hey everybody, we are live on Facebook. This is the live recording of podcast episode number 110. I am talking with, actually, you have been podcasting forever. You were podcasting before it was trendy.
We did. We used rocks and paper cups and twine.
My husband recently started a podcast, and he also has written a couple of books. And, in the coaching world, we take years to do this and we think about it. And I think you even talked about that in the book, all the resistance that comes up. And I told my husband about, I can't even remember the name of the podcast app, but it's an app you just use on your phone and it can kind of edit it for you. It's free. And then like 15 minutes later, he had a podcast. And every week he just sits down and makes up shit and does this podcast. And it's just so funny how, especially in the coaching world, we can get so overthinky. So, hey, you guys, this is Tripp Lanier. I think he's a brother from another mother. I don't know about you, but since you and I hung out together for a whole year, we were in a program together. We used to commiserate on being Enneagram 7s. I no longer am an Enneagram 7.
What are you, like you 13 or a 14?
I just don't need to be fucking happy all the time anymore. I don't need to always be having fun. I'm moved towards 5.
Which is an investigator?
Yeah, I think it's more intellectual. So I'm not an Enneagram expert by any means, but I just notice I don't have the need to have as much fun anymore. Maybe it's my age. Maybe I need to spend more time with you.
Yeah, hormone therapy. Oh, right.
Seriously. Fun. So you guys, this is Tripp Lanier. He is the host of the New Man podcast. Has interviewed, what episode are you on now? Like 2027?
I don't know, because we tend to not publish as many. So, we're not we don't follow that herd where you got to publish all the time. Thanks.
I like that. Well, and you've also been busy writing a book called This Book Will Make You Dangerous. I'm having trouble. This Book Will Make You Dangerous. And it says the irreverent guide for men who refuse to settle. But I totally loved it. And I don't have a penis that I know of. So I think this book, actually, I listened to it and I actually read with my fingers, holding a book. I read it this last week to get ready, and I just chuckled. So before we get going, I want to let you guys know what we're talking about today. This is perfect because yesterday on our business call Tripp, I was talking with a bunch of high-achieving, success-driven women. And I asked the question, how many of you have that feeling of when I have blank, I will finally feel blank? And at first, when I saw the name of this book, I was like, Tripp, I don't know if this is for my audience. My audience is mostly women. And you said the chronic issue that successful people have where they seemingly have it all, but feel trapped, drained, and isolated, bored, and overwhelmed. Hello. My business is called Soulful Success. That's the same. This is the same thing. This book will make you dangerous. So what does dangerous mean to you, Tripp?
Well, I think before we understand what dangerous is, it's understanding that most of us, when we chase after, quote, success, if we really drill down, success means that we really hope that we're going to be comfortable once and for all. We're going to have certainty and safety once and for all. And we're going to be important and accepted and loved and appreciated and admired and adored once and for all. And so we're chasing after comfort, chasing after certainty, chasing after status and importance. Those things aren't aligned with joy. They're actually not aligned with fulfillment. They're not aligned with what actually makes us feel alive or free or loved. So we're putting our heads down and we're chasing after this magical one day where we'll finally be done and we'll be comfortable once and for all. We're going to be certain once and for all. We're going to be accepted once and for all. And that's really just chasing a form of safety. It's this idea that I'll finally be safe. It's a survival mentality. So we might drive the Benz and we might have the nice house and we might have all the followers, but really we're just trying to create a different form of survival for ourselves. And so I want to throw out there and say, hey, look, yes, survival is really important. Being comfortable is really important. Having certainty is really important. Being loved and admired is important, but it's not everything. And if we're willing to be a little bit dangerous, if we're willing to step across that edge from time to time, we might actually find what we ultimately want, which is to feel freedom, aliveness, deep love, deep connection, and peace of mind. That's a lot.
I know, but as I was listening and reading, it's everything I talk to my clients about. We're out of the how-to. The how-to, you can Google a how-to. You can watch a 13-year-old tell you how to build a $60,000 a month business on fucking YouTube these days. And it was funny as you were talking, I was remembering a conversation we had, and I had used the phrase, always nexting. The next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And then you feel that momentary endorphin high, and then it wears off. And so then you're back in the thing again. So it is completely relevant.
And as a coach, I got tired of helping people do really things that looked impressive from the outside, but then a week or two later, they were back into a state of mind where they felt trapped, they felt drained, they felt isolated, they felt bored, they felt overwhelmed. There was this, I was like, wait a second, this isn't why I signed up to be a coach. This isn't why I got into this work. And so, yeah, we're going to set goals, but let's set smart goals. Let's understand what we're really playing for. It's not just these objective outcomes, but it's also these subjective experiences.
Yeah. I was right before we got on this morning, I actually went to the back of the book to see about Tripp. And the very last thing you said is that you live a quiet life near the beach with your wife and daughter. And I love that. To me was the epitome of this. So we're joking earlier about me not being a 7 anymore. I laugh that I value simplicity. I laugh that I value a quiet life more than, to me, a quiet life is fun. Maybe my idea of fun has changed. And it is because of exactly this, that 3-4 years ago, even though my business and my life had all these things, my soul was still empty. Avoiding discomfort, avoiding the loss of time, money, and energy, avoiding the loss of approval or looking bad. Those are the things.
The technical term is looking like a moron. Yeah, we don't.
The women version, I mean, we can call it people pleasing, just people pleasing. And we're so not only individually accidentally raised this way, but culturally conditioned this way. And every time we're not doing or being something, it's one of those three. It's actually really simple.
Well, I like it. I call it protecting and pleasing and proving. We're either protecting our ass, we are kissing ass, or we're making sure that we don't look like an ass. And that people are like, I've got to find my purpose in life. I've got to find this sense of what my deeper calling is. And it's like, well, you've already got one. You're already living it. And if you look at most of the decisions that you make throughout the day, you're covering your ass. You're making sure that, nothing bad happens. You're making sure that nobody gets mad at you. You're kissing ass. And you're making sure that nobody makes fun of you or thinks you're weird or calls you out or anything like that. That's an entire day right there. So
it's exhausting.
And then we're like, why don't I feel energized? Why don't I really enjoy what I'm doing? And so again, it's that idea that we're always in some kind of a dangerous place. And I think the antithesis is that, well, what if we were willing to be a little bold? What if we could be a little playful? What if we could get over ourselves a bit? We might start to loosen things up and realize maybe it's not so crazy or dangerous out there. And that's hard. This book was for me. It was a reminder for me to be bold and to be playful and to get over myself.
So I opened this book last night. The hard copy came in the mail yesterday. And I opened this book last night. And speaking of being playful and loosening up your introduction. Am I allowed to say this? I mean, I'm allowed to say whatever I want.
This is why I was, and when I send this book out and I'm like, oh, Allison's
this is what I love it. This is,
I know.
I just laughed. And so that's the other thing. We're not just teaching people with words. We're showing them with who we are. And I pick up this book and it's a personal growth book, but it's not a personal growth book. Tripp Lanier is in this book. And so you tell a bending over and having somebody stick their finger up your ass story that is 1,000% hilarious and relatable. And
context is important here. That was at a doctor's office. I just wanted.
Yes, it was at a doctor's office.
Wasn't at a bar or something. Okay, I just want.
No, and so I read a bunch last night, and then this morning when I was walking, I was listening to the rest of it, and over, I heard this real human being's voice and his willingness to use words that I've heard you say in casual conversation. And so it was not only amazing content, but the delivery and style is just more permission. Exactly what you're preaching in the book is like, be playful, be bold, not to swing your big dick, but be bold to just be who you are. Use your real voice in life. And that one of the phrases that you used in the book is like what weakens you and what strengthens you. Talk a little bit about that concept because our bodies do know.
Well, yeah, I think that's that idea is. I had a conversation with a prospect a while back. This really highly successful, very driven woman, and she was telling me of course she's type A, like she had the whole next 3 years mapped out and what she wanted to do. And I said, "Does this make you stronger?" And she was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Well, are your relationships stronger as a result of this? How's your marriage? How's your relationship with your kids? How's your relationship with your body? How are you enjoying anything outside of work?" And she began to see that what had been driven in her head that I'm going to be, quote, successful actually wasn't making her stronger. It was weakening the foundational elements in her life. That's not true for everybody. For some folks, it lines up. But the idea was that when she started to look around, she's like, yeah, I don't sleep. I eat like crap. I don't exercise. Just on that fundamental level, that throws everything off. And then her relationship, she had no community. Her husband, she's setting things up for bad news with her husband down the road. She was missing her kids growing up. So it was just like, what are we really playing for here? And again, most of us get into this thing of like, this is the path. I've been indoctrinated to believe that this thing is it. And again, it's not really about chasing money. It could be whatever kind of fairy tale we've bought into. But rarely do we ever question it because we tend to run in a tribe where we look back and forth and say, well, I must be on the right track because everybody else is doing this. We're comparing ourselves to others. The bold part is to slow down and say, wait a second, what actually has me feel strong? What actually has me feel more expansive? And we might find that it goes against the grain. That goes against what the herd is doing. And that can be confronting. That can feel dangerous to start to forge our own path. Like, gosh, who am I to go down this road? Who am I to give myself a break? Who am I to give myself permission to do ABC? And nonetheless,
and what will happen if I do? What will I lose if I do? So like you say, playing not to lose. I'll go broke. I'll go backwards. I will.
People think I'm crazy. I'm lazy.
Yes. I'll lose friends. I'll lose family. All these things, and it. I remember having a coach who did a core values exercise with me. Instead of like filling out the forms, he did the whole NLP version and just carried me through a conversation. And what I learned from that was one of the questions he would say was, tell me about a time when you were most excited. And then he would say, tell me what happened just before that. And I realized that when we're truly living in our core values, we're actually have a sense of excitement and vitality. And when I say vitality, I mean the cells in our body are happy and plump, and the blood is flowing and the oxygen is getting brain, and we feel that physical lightness. And feeling that lightness is actually really helpful for getting past resistance and implementing habits or continuing habits. And when we are in that protective mode, okay, podcast listeners, you can't see this, but like just make a fist and just grit your teeth all the way down to your butthole and tighten. And I always say, you can't make money. When you have a stick up your ass, you can't have fun with the stick up your ass. We've got to pull the stick up out of our asses. And it is important. Just this week, I have on my calendar rest, serve, and play for June, July, and August. And one of my girlfriends has on her calendar to sell something new every single month. And so I'm seeing her sell something every single month. I do not have sell something every single month on my calendar, but I can't help see out of the llama eye instead of the Allison eye. In the book, you talk about prey animals have their eyes on the side of their head. So out of the side of my head, I'm seeing this person sell, making all this money. And all of a sudden I'm making myself wrong for where I am in my business.
I'm going to miss out. I'm doing it right.
I'm doing it wrong. Just because I can double my business, I should. And I can if I want to, but it's not in my what feels aligned.
Yeah. It's good to work through that stuff and just slow down. And most of the time when we say, why should I, we might find that the thing is still fun. Double the business might be still fun, but we can do the right things for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So it can still be driven from this place of fear, or I won't be okay, or I won't be enough, or whatever that thing is. And then it's always going to be a drag. It's always going to be a drain. But who knows when you come back to it and say, hey, I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be enlivening and be engaging to do X, Y, Z. Let's make it a game. Let's make it, an adventure, that kind of thing. Then it can enliven us and strengthen us in the process.
You also talk in the book a lot about experimentation. I use this word all the time with my clients, that everything is an experiment. Even my coach right now is like sending out this, tell me how your experience in the mastermind is. And I was like, lady, you got the container. I signed up for the container and I'm responsible for my experience. There's nothing that will make it better. There's nothing that will make it worse, because no matter what happens, I'm going to get my money's worth out of this, because I'm the decider. And it's all an experiment. It's all an experiment. Okay, there's a couple. Let me plant a couple flags, because my brain is all of a sudden thinking about a lot of things. Number one, I'm just going to write these down for me. I do want to ask you about COVID. I don't want to do that yet. I want to ask you, what have you had to do that's dangerous? Right. So I want to hear a little bit of your personal story. What's Tripp's danger? And I can't think of the third thing that came in my head and it was supposed to come out. So let's go to what was dangerous for you. I mean, obviously you've been able to get to a place where you're ready to share. You wrote this book for you. What did you have to let go of?
Interestingly enough, writing the book was easy. What has been confronting is asking for help. Asking for help promoting the book. My tendency is to just isolate, and I'll go do everything by myself and that kind of thing. So asking for reaching out to people, having people not respond, having people respond, lovingly and amazingly like you have. Those are the types of things that I was just like, oh, I freaking hate this. And I'm like, oh, I wrote a book about this crap. Maybe I should go back and read that stuff. It was this weird cosmic joke as I'm going through. I was like, I come downstairs, I'd be all grumpy and pissy. And, my wife would just look at me. She's like, if only somebody had written a book about being bold and being playful and about getting over yourself. I was like, damn it. All right. And it was a reminder. It was great. Just pull my head up my butt and go give it a shot. So yeah, I'd say asking for help. There's on a almost 48-hour basis, there's a part of me that just wants to run away and go hide in my cave and, not need anybody for anything. And therefore not be let down. I don't want to be let down by people or disappointed by people. So I'm there to support lots of people, but it's challenging for me to be supported by others.
I get it. I get it. Last year was the year that I became the woman who allowed high-level help. And I had all these stories. Like I either don't need help, nobody could do it as good as me, asking for help. And one of my chief operations gal has all these great ideas. And one of them is pitching podcast. And I'm like, yeah, no, that won't work for me. Yeah, no, that won't work for me. And what happens though, this is what's so funny, because I don't know who your podcast pitch guy is. I don't remember seeing his first email, but I saw the name Tripp and I was like, there's only one Tripp. And I was like, by the way, if this is about Tripp Lanier, I know who the fuck he is.
Like, I saw your email and I was
he's my pal.
Okay. So, like, I know Tripp.
Well, and I get it because, right, like I have Amber to do that kind of stuff for me, but I notice one of the things I want is more exposure, but one of the things I've been afraid to do. Why am I afraid to do that? Because what am I protecting? I'm literally asking myself that right now because I don't want to. This is
it's like if we don't want you on our podcast, then you're not important. You're not.
Right. And I don't, it's so funny. It's not even that I don't want you on the podcast. This is how silly our little protective brains get. I get cold pitch emails 2 and 3 times a day. I'm sure you do get even more. And so in the last year, I have received a cold pitch email that happened to have your name on it. Because the email didn't say, hey, Tripp gave me your name. I'm sure it was a list of podcasts of personal growth people. And the other one, somebody actually took the time and made a Loom video of my website and my opt-in, like all these things. And I was like, whoa, that person really took time. And then the other one, I happen to know you. But because of the way I feel when I get a cold pitch, I've got some story that I'm making this assumption that somebody else is going to feel that way. Here's the other thing. I don't even remember the names of the people doing the cold pitch. But it's funny how I put together all those connections and who knows whose inbox I would land in.
Yeah.
Oh, golly. Okay. Here's the other thing. This is fun. I know. I could talk about this shit all day long. We didn't even talk about how long I'd like to go with this. Very early in the book, you talk about the reasons why we want the things. This is my language, not your language. But if we want the Maserati, it's because we think it will make us feel XYZ. And so for a long time, I've learned to follow a to feel list. I have a couple of type A grown ass women that I was like, I don't care what you do. What do you want to feel? And all of a sudden they're like, I'm sorry, what? Why does that matter? And next thing I know, they're teaching it and their little daughters, like 6-year-old daughters, are going, Mommy, what's on our to feel list today? That's when I feel proud because we're teaching our little ones to not have to be in their mid 40s. I'm speaking for myself, not for you. Actually, I'm at the end of my 40s. We're not having to... What's available if they don't have to recover from all this people pleasing?
Yeah.
So the to feel list, and you break it down into like everything anybody wants to feel basically fits into 4 categories.
Well, people throw out terms like fulfillment and joy and happiness, and I can ask a client, say, "Are you feeling fulfilled?" And they're like, "I don't know," but. I'm like, are you feeling loved? They're like, yeah, I've got my family and we're all in a good spot. It's like, great. You feeling alive? No.
Yeah.
You feeling free? No.
Yeah.
Like I haven't felt alive. I haven't done anything that got my heart racing in a long time. I haven't felt like I could just grab the wheel and kind of, take the reins and go do ABC. I've always been thinking about career and family, and all of that kills peace of mind. So that, those four buckets, freedom, aliveness, love, and peace, I found that nobody doesn't want those things. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a great place to, if we think about where that person that we went after all the big objective goals, we're going to have the house, we're going to have the money, going to have the status, all that kind of stuff. And we still end up feeling trapped. What does that tell us? We want to feel free. If we feel drained, we want to feel alive. If we feel isolated, cut off, we want to feel love and connection. We're tired of feeling bored or overwhelmed. It's peace of mind. You just do the opposite. And so I just got tired of hearing guys be like, I feel trapped. I feel drained. It's like, those are their words. And it's like, okay, well then let's flip it. What would have you feel more free today? Not at the end of some big, huge mountain on the top of some big summit. What would have you feel free today? What would have you feel alive today? What would have you feel more loving today? What would have you feel more peace of mind today? Now, the challenge here is that it's not hedonistic. It's not a thing where it's like, oh, I'm just going to go run and eat ho-hos and watch Netflix all day. Because actually there's a difference between comfort and peace of mind. Comfort is, I can push off the things that need to be done. I can push off that credit card bill. I can push off that uncomfortable conversation I need to have with my wife. I can push off these things and I can feel comfortable in the moment. That's people pleasing. Mm-hmm. Peace of mind comes from, we're going to have this conversation right now. We're going to deal with this thing right now. I'm going to repair XYZ in my life right now. And on the other side of that is peace of mind. It might be kind of a shit show for a while as you're putting those things together, but our head hits the pillow at night and say, you know what? I'm doing something about it. And so I like to draw the difference between comfort or relief and peace of mind. And I find that when we engage those questions now, today, we get more effective, we get more energized as we go forward. But we also realize we don't have to deprive ourselves for the next 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, hoping that this magical finish line is going to have us feel free or alive or loved or at peace once and for all.
Well, it gives all those things right now. It's also we're not avoiding the discomfort. I always tell my clients, like, you know how like when you're really tired and you crawl into bed and you get in your good jammies and you're like, I'm going to stay here for 24 hours. And by 10 a.m., you're like, I got to get out of this fucking bed.
Yeah.
Because it's not satisfying to lie in bed for 24 hours straight. Like our body wants to have that vitality. It also wants to have the rest. So I totally get that distinction. And I love how the simplicity of that 4-quadrant matrix, because I'm sitting here thinking of some of my more flowery words that, like, if I want to feel sexy, well, that goes into feeling alive. What were the 4?
I would say
alive. Yeah, it goes into feeling aliveness. I want to feel prosperous. Well, that goes into feeling what?
That would be peace of mind for me, or free.
Peace of mind. Yeah, free, peace of mind. Exactly. And the way that I'm just like, I'm patting myself on my back, having changed so much in the last few years, but was willing to embrace discomfort. We actually, I don't know if you know this part of my story, but right after I met you, I was like at the pinnacle of my success and had the house and all this other stuff. And I sold my house and downsized into a tiny little suburban home and took everything off the plate except for one offering. Just this year, 3 years in, did I add something new? And I work 5 hours a week, make just as much money. Very simple focus, but I had to be willing to be bored. I had to be willing to have people say, I can't believe you're offering this low. Like, people are going to think you're cheap because it came from that high fee world. I had to face all those things. And I will say, as I don't want to call myself a control freak, but somebody who likes the power of control is like, oh, me deciding this for myself, me selling my house instead of having to sell my house was a little bit more empowering. But making those decisions for me and learning how to be uncomfortable has been learning how to get help. I'm like, damn it, one of the things all those coaches and teachers say is true. Be willing to be uncomfortable. What got you here won't get you there. All those cheesy things, fuck, they're true.
Yeah.
They're
they
true.
Can be, for sure. Yeah.
We're
willing to test them, right?
I want to bring in the current climate of COVID and racial justice and political polarity, in the sense of, I know often we're talking with our clients about what's going on in their little isolated life, in their story. And right now, we're all, not just our clients, but us as service providers, we're all experiencing mass change, isolation, uncertainty. Uncertainty is the giant one. The uncertainty. A lot of the things that we normally would look forward to in our privileged lives, like vacations and those kind of things. So I'm curious how this is showing up in your coaching practice in the current climate.
You know, the book was slated to come out, right as everything was hitting all the craziness was happening. And I remember being like, is this book cavalier? Like, is this an insensitive message to come out? Because it was written in the time of the bull market when everything was on the up and up, and we were just getting more and more soft and more fragile and more important, and sticking our heads in our asses. And I talked with some friends who had read the book, and they were like, no, now more than ever, these principles are, because it's just about dealing with fear. And it's about learning how to pierce through that stuff and pierce through our own programming and that kind of thing. So I think that ultimately there's so much uncertainty all the time. We're one diagnosis away, or a car wreck, or what. There's just so many things that are close all the time, which is the nature of life as it is, and not life and death. And I think that it's just, well, how am I going to face this, right? Am I going to completely crawl in my shell and want to go away and hide out? Or am I going to get curious? Am I going to see if I can be helped, or how I can help others, or get into communication, get into relationship with the world? The things that get in the way are, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to be uncertain. I don't want to look like a weirdo. So all along the way, those three questions, or those three commitments that we have to avoid discomfort and uncertainty and looking like a moron, or keep coming up over and over again. And I think that what we ultimately want is on the other side of being willing to face those things. So whether it's with virus-related stuff or the race stuff that you're talking about, it's just that, like, okay, here we go. I'm going to ask this question, or I'm going to reach out to this person, or I'm going to offer this, or whatever that might be.
Yeah, I'm finding that obviously I can't move on as much autopilot. And after a while, that overstimulation has gone away, and now there's adjusting to a new normal. But I like, waking up every day again and asking what would make me come alive, even though I'm in this climate, right? There's different restrictions, and there's differences now. I don't really like that phrase, the new normal, but it is what it is. And sitting around waiting things to go away or waiting for things to change is not really helpful. So what would strengthen me today? Assuming nothing would change, obviously hoping things, quote, change, but assuming nothing would change, how do I want to live in this moment?
This is what I've got.
This is what I got. This is what I've got. How do I want to, the cheesy little analogy, like if you were an alien, or you had all your memory lost and you were dropped onto this earth here and today, and you knew nothing of the past, and this is what was, let's go from there. Let's go from there.
And I think it comes back to looking at the choices we make on a daily basis. Is being glued to a news feed actually making me stronger? Is being glued to people's negativity and thinking I need to be informed of other people's opinions, is that actually making me stronger? Is it really informing me? Or is it giving me a false sense of aliveness because I get to feel pissed off every 5 seconds? So,
okay, let's slow down. Hold on. Let me take that in.
A lot of people would rather be pissed than bored.
Yeah.
If they could be out in the yard and enjoying the backyard, and like, I'm bored, I'd rather go be pissed off. Let me go see what the president did. Let me go see what my high school friend now thinks of whatever. And we'd rather, so it's understanding, it's like, oh, I'm seeking something. I'm seeking an escape from whatever level of boredom I am. And I'm going to tell myself that what I'm doing is actually important and vital, when it's really just, I'm addicted to the dopamine hit that comes from being pissed off.
Oh my God, you just kicked my ass. And I teach about this and talk about it. But I feel like I'm hiding. One of the things I'm doing is I'm noticing, I get real judgy. So I notice that I'm hiding my uncertainty, my discomfort with uncertainty by judging other people. Instead of needing everything to be fun, now I need everything to be intelligent. And it's the same fucking thing. It's, sorry, mom and dad, if you're listening, but like my dad has been in AA for 30 years and now follows the whole QAnon propaganda. And my judgment of him is like, oh, he went from one AA to, one outsourcing addiction, and now he has another one. But the reality is I have the same fucking addiction. My addiction to being right is costing me my peace. And I'm playing with now, the 7 in me wants to bury my head. So I'm playing with what will make me come alive and feel passionate. My sister gave me the term boots on the ground, right? Like social media and news is not doing anything, but if I put my boots on the ground, I volunteer for something. And there was a story in your book about some CEO, and when he felt most alive was helping an old lady in one of the hardware stores find a fucking light bulb. That is more of a political, like a fiery move to go and fucking be helpful to somebody with my actual body or my actual money is so much more powerful. And so I'm really, thank you. Sorry for this little impromptu coaching session, but I was actually struggling that with this morning. I was like, I've had too much Facebook, and then I go off, and then I come on, and then I go off. And somebody asked me yesterday, why do you even care about politics? And I'm like, why can you not? And going all the way off the deep end of peace, the distinction, like what's real peace and what's peace. And I want to be peace in this world. Okay, that you just got me. Let me, avoiding that discomfort.
Well, there's also who am I if I'm not getting attention? Who am I if I'm not putting something out in the world? And unfortunately, that's where a lot of the social media stuff is derived from, which is I get to feel important. I get to feel like I'm doing something. I matter. I have a voice. And I talk about Bill Stutz in there, and he has a wonderful practice that he gave me. He's like, once you let go of any hope of being admired or recognized or appreciated for anything that you do, and when you let go of any hope that you will be admired or appreciated or recognized for anything that you do, you start looking at like, well, then why am I going to go and run my mouth on social media? Why am I going to signal to the world that I gave $50 to some charity?
Yeah.
It's like, just watch where the hooks come from, because that's the places where we sell our peace of mind. We just give it away.
I wrote that down. The power and freedom that comes from letting go of the need to be admired, recognized, or appreciated. And that's actually one of the ways that I did make a dangerous move. Was I literally asked, I was like, why am I staying? And I could hear, this was when I worked for Keller Williams. I was like, why am I staying? And I could, I told myself, because you need them to approve of you. And so I'm having this little conversation. Well, what if it didn't matter if they approved of you? What would you do if you approved of you? No matter what. And I was like, oh, well, I would just start my own company. And same thing with my husband. It was like, Bill should trust me. Bill should trust me. Well, what would you do if you trusted you? And the second I started trusting me, my husband trusted me. The second I started approving me, my own business went and took off. And so the word that comes up is practice. You talk about that in your book. It's not a fucking event. You also talk about the A-Team and the 80s montage. I was laughing so hard at that. How old are you? We've got to be. Okay, I'm 48. Like, we were watching the same TV shows. Talk a little bit. I think the montage mentality, even more so now in social media, but the montage mentality takes us out of the boring, relentless, tedious, sometimes excruciating practice. But practice is what wins the game.
It just takes us out of the learning process. There's just not there's a part of me that likes that people don't want to learn stuff, because then they'll just be on social media all day. That gives me an advantage.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to go dick around and be right and be important, awesome. I'm going to go deliver value. I'm going to go help people change their lives. So it's like, I appreciate it. It's like, go ahead, go be important and whatever, like just whatever that means for you. But really, it just cuts us off. It has us not realize that there is an aspect to this, which is a lot of practice, a lot of falling down. My daughter sucks at a lot of things. It's because she's new. And so getting to watch her learn and grow things, and then realize, oh yeah, that's what it's like. And it's important to go do those things with her and realize this is terrible. Like, I went and did Brazilian jiu-jitsu with her, and she's over there with somebody, and I've got some sweaty guy on top of me rolling me around like I'm, a cat, and I was just like, how you doing, honey? I was like, this sucks. But it's just great to remember, like, oh, this is what it's like to just be completely powerless and new and feel incapable, and all of the status and all the importance that I may think I have doesn't mean shit now, because this guy's just rolling me around like a rag doll. So it's that thing that if we're unwilling to get over ourselves, and we always need to be right, we always need to be important, whatever, then we won't go into the places where we have to practice and go through the montage.
Yeah. A lot of my clients are chronic overthinkers. And because we're overthinking instead of playing, one of my favorite coaching questions is, how much fun can we have solving this problem? How much fun can we have sucking? How much fun can we have? Of course you're going to think it like that.
What? No.
What? No. I love your dirty mind. I love your dirty mind. I love how much. My husband would like me to say that. How much fun can I have sucking? He would like, Allison, please. You talk a big game online, but you got nothing in the bedroom at home. He's like, that stopped a long time ago. We're an old married couple now. Maybe, see, we need to get some vitality back in there too. I just got hot. But how much fun instead of how much can you overthink this? And I took the word ease off my website everywhere that I could find it. I'm tired of needing anything to be easy anymore. And letting it be hard has made it be easy. Who fucking knew? Tripp, Lanier?
What if that's the whole thing? It's like, what if it was okay to be a little uncomfortable? What if it was okay to go through the suck? What if it was okay to fall down and get back up? I find it's a lot easier to do when you're with other people too. When other people are going through the shit and you're like, oh, did you get punched in the face today? I did. I got punched in the face. Yeah, me too. It's right here. Where'd you get? It's just, it doesn't have the whole devastating effect.
Woe is me.
The world is trying to kill me, and I'm just the world is just, it's me against the world, and it's like, oh God, get over yourself.
I like to laugh. I think you do this too. I saw in your book you were acknowledging some comedians, and when we ran around in the same circles, our coach was very serious. I think he's lightened up since then, but I'm always cracking jokes. And apparently that is really inappropriate in the authentic relating world and all that other stuff. But I think it's funny. Life is fucking funny. And so sometimes, yes, it helps me avoid discomfort, but it's also seriously straight up fucking funny. The reality of all this stuff, the reality of all this stuff. Oh my God, y'all, please read the first and last chapter of his book. Read the middle too, but get through the whole thing. I mean, read the middle too, but because it's fucking true and it's fucking funny, right?
I appreciate that. Life is funny, you know, even things that are kind of, what do they say? Comedy is a tragedy plus time or times time. So.
I haven't heard that one, but life is fucking funny. And it's fucking funny when I don't know. I could go down another thing. So let's do this. Let's play this. I want to play my little game that I like to play with my guests. So I may even change the name of my podcast. It's the Better Life, Better Work show, but I may change it because of you to the Better Life, Better Work, No Bullshit podcast.
Do it.
What's one tip for better life?
It sounds trite, so I want to try and put this in a language where it doesn't get dismissed. I'm amazed at how many people have no idea that they are not even trying to be happy. They have an aversion to happiness, and then they are pissed off that they're not happy. So it's kind of this thing is like, I don't know why I'm unhappy. It's like, well, look at all the choices you make through the day. You start to see you don't allow humor in your life. You don't allow any play. You don't allow any kind of levity. You don't allow yourself to do the things you enjoy to do. All you do is read this negativity shit, and it's like, yeah, you're a real fucking drag. So it's just and
you're loaded with carbs and sugar.
And yeah, it's just like kind of makes sense why life's a drag for you. You haven't even pointed yourself and said, hey, I'd like to enjoy my life more. I'd like to feel stronger. I'd like to feel more expansive. So it seems crazy, but we're just not aligned for it. We're aligned to like, what do I do so that I feel important? What do I do so that I'm not uncomfortable? What do I do so that, I don't lose any money? But I don't know. That's boring.
Well, I think we are subconsciously, and our nervous systems are conditioned for a little bit of misery, because it's safer than discomfort. The misery we know is safer than the discomfort of what we don't know. And I'll tell you, Richard Morgan, I had a conversation. He was a client of mine for a little while, and he and I would see him on Twitter, and he's just so fucking relaxed. And I'm like, yeah, but you're just as passionate as I am about some of this political stuff. And so I called him up one day, and he goes, Allison, how happy are you willing to let yourself be? And I don't know, somewhere I think I was believing the old story that if I cared about politics, if I wanted to be happy, Then I had to quit watching the news completely, quit caring about politics. It was this absolute. And he asked me that question. I think about it every day. How happy am I willing to allow myself to be in what I see as reality? The old me would be happy ignoring reality, ignoring all the discomfort. So how happy can I be even in the discomfort?
Just look at, I had a hurricane go through my neighborhood last night, 12 hours ago, right? And it's wonderful to wake up and not, our air conditioning's out, but it's like, it's wonderful because 2 years ago we had a tree come through the master bedroom. And it's just we get in these places where we're miserable, and it's like, you're one moment away from wishing you could have this version of your misery. Mm-hmm. We'd love to come back to this.
Yeah. My husband always says we are shitting in drinking water in America. We are pooping in drinking water. We don't even poop in gray water, most of us. We are literal. And so I'm always just saying first thing on my gratitude list is, the fact that I have a refrigerator that puts out filtered water. I feel like the richest person alive to be grateful for that. And soft toilet paper. And those are luxuries.
Right. And but I think it comes back to how happy are you willing to be? Because if you feel guilty for that, then you will turn that down. There's this thing, it's a real binary thing. It's like, well, it's not okay for me to be happy. And I think that, I want to be really clear. I'm not running around doing cartwheels and all of that. That's not, I don't buy into that kind of thing. That's why I don't use the word happiness really in the book. I use strength. I like to feel expansive. Yeah. There's an element as I go through the day, I feel strong, but it's not this like, yippee. That's not what I'm talking about, but it is a powerful feeling. It's like, what do I want to create today? Who do I want to talk to? What possibilities do I want to lean into? I like that feeling. But if we don't feel like we deserve that, or if we're addicted to drama, or we're addicted to being right, and that's what makes us feel important, or whatever those things are, they're going to be hard to give up.
We're needing to be liked. A lot of times when we are happy, even though other people are like, oh, well, you should be miserable. I remember talking with a girlfriend, and it was like, what are you most proud of? And she's like, I'm an amazing mom. Why am I telling myself I'm a bad mom? And I said, of course, because when you go to the baseball fields and all the moms are sitting together and they're in their little belonging club, and you sit down and they're like, being a mom is so hard. And she's like, actually, I love being a mom. And then all of a sudden, our biological need to belong, it goes back exactly what you said, Tripp. It's the protection. What am I think my brain thinks I'm going to die if I'm happy and everybody else is miserable.
If I don't belong. Right?
If I don't belong, right. And if I'm happy and they're miserable, or I'm miserable and they're happy, I won't belong. Okay, next question. So much for the lightning round. I don't really call it that. One tip for better work.
One tip for better work. Enjoy it. If I don't enjoy what I'm doing, I have a hard time getting to it. So, and I talk about it in the book. It's like, could it really be fun? Could it really be enjoyable? Could I really just do the things that, it is a reality that I need to put myself out there in the world so that I can create work for myself. But does it need to be a drag, or could it be something that's enlivening for me? And I follow the fun. Again, it's not the yippee thing, but we don't have to default to it's got to be a slog. Everything's got to be hard. Yeah. Our ancestors went through the slog and the hard. Mm-hmm. We're in AC. We're in Wi-Fi. We're in all this. Let's fucking enjoy it. Yeah. Celebrate it.
We have the ability. We have the ability to connect with people all over the world. People thought I was nuts when I first started my business, and the timing of the internet was so nice to help me kind of move away from my local business to connect with other people that had similar values, and that we have these devices. I feel like the luckiest person in the world that gets to do this work. And I do have to practice. When I start going down the path of seduction from somebody's shiny object because it's the right thing, their right thing to do, or they're doing more on the comparison, it's like, wait a minute, I did this last week. Is that energizing me, or is this depleting me? Oh, it's totally depleting me. And sending a text to my entire team saying, fuck that shit, we're not doing it. Here's what I'm going to do instead. Nothing. Yeah. Last thing, what's your best tip for no bullshit?
Don't get in the habit of bullshitting yourself. That'd be first and foremost. And then don't surround yourself with people that allow you to bullshit yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the second. It's good to have people that aren't afraid to challenge you, and ask good questions. If you've committed your life to being comfortable and making sure you're always accepted, most of us will start relationships. I don't want to be alone, so I'll just be with somebody. Mm-hmm. I just want to feel safe, so I'll just be with somebody. I can't stand the idea of being unwanted. My friends will think I'm unwanted, so I'll just be with somebody. And then we wonder why their friendships are we feel alone. We feel isolated instead of choosing to be with people that will challenge us, that will have us, challenge us to go into places that are energizing and enlivening, and to push through the places that are uncomfortable. I think that's the big conversation here, is most of us just want to really have those deep, loving connections.
Yeah. Thank you for spending time with me today. It's so good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much, Allison.
You're welcome. You guys, This Book Will Make You Dangerous. You'll really enjoy it. You can find, he's also the host of the New Man podcast and a coach at tripplanier.com or at thenewmanpodcast.com. And there's places to buy your book on
Amazon's all around the world. So
Amazon.
Wherever,
okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And, Amazon. Okay, perfect. I always want to make sure the author gets the most money.
Oh.
I like people to get paid for their work. Anyways, thank you for spending time with me. I hope that y'all's hurricane recovery is simple and easy. And how much fun can you have cleaning up the mess?
That's right. Have fun.
Peace out, brother. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening. Let me think real quick what I want to invite you to do. Oh, let us know what you thought about the podcast. Share it, tweet it, talk about it. Tell us what you learned about it on Facebook, on Twitter, somewhere fun. Share it with somebody you love. And by the way, Allison Crow is opening up doors to Soulful Success on August 15th. It's the last time it will be at 222. So if you want to become a member at Soulful Success and basically life, business, coaching, and community for 222, so you have money left over to invest in fun and help, come hang out with us. That's at coachwithallison.com. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tripp.
Thank you.
As always, thanks for listening. Totally appreciate you thinking about somebody who might really love this episode and you sharing it with them. Also, I always appreciate your reviews. It's like podcast currency. It's like a tip in the jar saying thanks. And finally, if you want to share on social media a screenshot or any insights you get from listening to this episode, I will totally respond. You can share with the hashtag BetterLifeBetterWorkShow. This show is sponsored by my 3 rescued dogs, Leroy Brown, Clementine, and Rocky Potato. They're here to remind you to consider adoption when you get your next pet. More is not better, better is better.